then the smaller number would eat the larger number. So the 17 would now eat the 18. So 17, 8, 18. You get the joke, right? Hey everyone, this is Thecos, and yes, I'm finally back with a button shy game. There's still like 4, 5 or even 6 of them that I want to show to you, and this has been long overdue. I've been owning Numbsters for a while. I've been talking about on my channel that I like the game, but I've never brought you a video on it. I don't know why, but here I am. Numbsters by Milan Zivkovic, published by Button Shy Games. You probably know these small wallet games. I own like a lot of them, and today, well, yeah, I'm going to bring you Numbsters. This is like an in-hand card game, a game you can play in your hand, kind of. You do need space on the table, but I will do 2 things today. First, I will show you how the game is played, and then later I will show you how I can even play it without a table. That is definitely possible. Alright, so no montage this time, because this game is really easy and simple to set up. The wallet is a little bit dirty. I need to clean it just because I have it like with me a lot, the game, because I do like it a lot. So let me put that up here. I think that looks kind of cool. Well, actually, it's going to annoy me there. Let me put it up there. All right, so there is an expansion in here. This one here, this is the Infinity expansion. That's the newest one. I will not play with that one today because that changes up the game quite a bit, actually. And I'm not quite sure how I like that yet. But I'm going to show you the base game today. So let me put these away. All right, so the game is actually pretty simple to set up. And then I will just set up the game now, and then I will just show you while playing how the game works. All right, so we set the 8 aside. All the other cards you will just shuffle. Let me just give them like a few quick river shuffles here, like this. I think that should definitely, suffice, like this. And yeah, I know you should need to do it like 6 times or whatever, but I'm just going to do it 3 times today. Then I'm going to give it a cut. And what you do now is you count 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards from here. You put the rest as a deck on the table. Let me just put it a little bit more to the left, like this here. And then you're going to shuffle the 8 in here. Let me just roughly shuffle it, like roughly into the middle. I don't really like the 8 being at the bottom or top. Just roughly into the middle. There we go. And then you open, and then you just fan out the cards. You always need to be able to take a look at all the cards. You can always take a look at all cards. What you cannot do is take a look at the cards in the draw pile, right? And that is already the setup. Before we start playing, grab yourself a cup of tea, so we are ready to go. All right, there we go. All right, so what we do now is, we always do 3 steps. The first step is we draw a card like this, and we place it at the top of the stack. And I will put the draw pile to the right because it's annoying me already. So let me do it like this. Okay, so now we have our 8 cards here, right? Because we just drew one. The second step is move. That one is optional. So we can now take any card and move it to any other spot, or we can swap 2 cards. So for example, I could take the 4 and move it over here, for example, right? That's one thing I could do. Or I could swap 2 cards. For example, I could swap the 8 and the 18. Right, so I put the 8 there and the 18 here, right? That's also one thing I could do. So I'm going to reverse that now because that's not what I want to do. So that's the second step. I will now move the 18 over here. I will let you know in a moment why. Because the third step now is eat, and that was not optional. Now one Numbster needs to eat another Numbster, right? And the mouth always needs to be, like the 8, always needs to be in between the 2 Numbsters that are involved in the eating, so to speak. First option I have is that if these 2 cards surrounding the 8 are sequential, right? So right next to each other, 17, 18, or like 11, 12 would be another example, or 4 and 5, then the smaller number would eat the larger number. So the 17 would now eat the 18. So 17, 8, 18. You get the joke, right? So what I would do then, I would take the 18 because it's eaten, and I would just discard it. That's it. Would be discarded to, out of the game. That's it. And that's it. The other option I would have, let me just put that back in, is to use the ability of the top number. And that one says, odd Numbster eats bigger odd Numbster. So for example, if we had it like this, the 7 here, and I would activate this. Then I would also look at the 2 cards right next to the 8. Odd Numbster eats bigger odd Numbster. That means the 7 is an odd Numbster, eats the bigger odd Numbster, which is 17. That works. So the 17 would be discarded. And if I use an ability, instead of doing the regular eating here, I need to put it at the bottom of the stack here. That's it. That is all there is to the game. We win the game if we have only 2 cards left at the end. That is the 8, and on top of the 8, any number, right? And they even in the rules, I'm going to show that to you. That's pretty funny, actually. In the rules at the back, you can see like all the Numbsters here, except for the 18 and the 8, because with these 2 you can't do it. But whenever you like end the game with the 8 and like the 3 on top, you can cross the 3 out here and say, okay, I've managed that. And you're going to try that with each Numbster because it's like quite tough with a few of them, with some of them. I have managed it several times. I just don't like to write in rule books. That's why I have like noted digitally which Numbsters I have already ended the game with. We lose, however, if we either cannot like if we have like more cards than that, or if the 8 is ever on top. If the 8 is ever on top, as it says here, if on top of the stack at the end of the turn, you lose, right? And that's all there is to the game. So let's just start playing. 17 will eat the 18, so like I wanted to do in the beginning, right? That's already the turn. Now we draw another card, put it at the top. Now we do the movement again. So let me just see what we can do here. This says single digit number eats double digit number. I would like to get rid of the 17 because I've started with the 18, which is the highest number, right? It all goes from 1 to 18. So I would now like to get rid of the 17 actually. Single digit is double digit. That means I will move a single digit, here the 7 maybe, over here like this. Oh, now I shook the camera. Sorry about that. Like this, and now single digit number eats double digit number. 7 eats 17. So 17 is gone. I will discard it. Put the 9 at the bottom of the stack. And I always end the turn with 7 cards because 1 is eaten, and I start the turn with 8 cards. So now it's going to be a little bit more tricky, right? Even Numbster eats smaller Numbster. I actually don't want to eat any of them. Maybe the 14, maybe I could get rid of the 15, but later on I will have the 16 still, right? So we need to somehow be able to get rid of the 16 later on. But I think I can do that. Let's just move the 14 in here, like this. And then even Numbster, oh no, then I will not use the ability. I will just, the smaller will eat the larger sequential number. This one will be eaten. And this one will not be put at the bottom because I didn't do the ability. All right, next number, 13. Oh, that is actually going really well at the moment. I can just put the 13 down here. And then smaller eats larger, sequential number, 14. Okay, that is really lucky. I'm really lucky at the moment. Same thing here, 12, 13. Get rid of the 13. Okay, I'm really lucky at the moment. I can still do it like one more time here. Move the 11 there, eat the 12. Okay, so, and now we'll get a little bit tougher. This is the 16. I will need to eat this one. Even Numbster eats single digit number. That doesn't really help me. 16, and I also need to get rid of the 11. Double digit eats single digit. Odd number eats bigger odd number. That is good. So I will take the 4. I will move it to the top of the stack, right? And now odd Numbster eats bigger odd Numbster. So the 7 can eat the 11. This one is gone. This one goes to the bottom because I used the ability. And we draw a new card. All right, we are progressing quite well. The 11 I've eaten already. That means the 10 I can also eat, which I can do easily like this. 9 and 10, right? I will just move the 10 in there, and then I can just eat the 10 because the 9 is the smaller sequential number. All right, so now we don't have the... and also, another rule that I forgot to say at the beginning, the 8, of course, is not part of these numbers here, right? So the 8 cannot eat anything. That means the next lower sequential number of the 9 is the 7, right? 7, 8, 9, you get it, right? So I can eat this one. Okay, I still need to get rid of the 16. Biggest number in the stack, it's odd Numbster, even Numbster. How can I get rid of the 16? I don't know yet. This one will be a little bit tough. Even Numbster, it's single digit. Because whenever I have the last 3 cards left, that's the 8, and it's going to be two sequential numbers because you can't use an ability anymore. If you use an ability, it goes to the bottom and then the 8 is at the top, and you cannot have the 8 at the top, remember? That means you have to do that sequential eating, right? So I will have to do two sequential numbers I will need at the end. Where they are doesn't really matter. That's one important thing. So that means I need to keep the 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 6 and 7, or when it comes out, the 5 and the 6. This should be the 5 here, because I haven't eaten the 5 yet. So I know pretty much everything that I have here. I need to eat the 16 for sure. Double digit, it's single digit, odd Numbster. Oh, can I eat the 16? Odd Numbster eats bigger odd Numbster. Oh, I don't even know if I can do that. Possibly, I already messed up. But let's see, I don't know what ability the 5 has. So what I will do for now is I will just go in here and get rid of the 7. And the 5 has the ability, odd Numbster eats bigger numbers, so that's fine. That means I will move the 8 in here, right? And now I can use this ability, odd Numbster eats bigger Numbster. 1 can eat the 16. This one was the worst card. The most important card to get rid of. Okay, so we could actually make it. We could actually make it. The problem is the 5 and the 6, they are separated, but I need them both. But I have a few ideas. Let me just think here. Oh no, actually it's very simple. Because remember, I can not only move, I can also exchange. So I will just swap these two cards like this. And then the 5 can eat the 6. Then I can move the 4 over here. So the 5 gets eaten. I can move the 3 over here. So the 4 gets eaten. 2 and 3 can eat the 3 here. And then I will just move the 2 to the back. The 1 can eat the 2. And we win. That was actually a pretty simple game. Just because I was very lucky in how the cards came out. Sometimes the cards are coming out in such a bad way that you already have a bad start and you can hardly even work. I could actually work from the top to the bottom pretty easily. I was just lucky how the cards came out, but it can be much more difficult. But that is how you play this game. So, but now I want to show you something else. That's also very important because you can actually play this game just in your hand. And I will show you how that works. Because first of all, of course, you shuffle the cards here, as you usually do, right? I will not shuffle them now, right? But you shuffle the cards, then you take 6 cards, these 6 here, right? You shuffle the 8 someplace in here, and then you have the cards here. And what you now do is now you take everything into your hand, and you just fan the top 7 cards that you need, right? And you leave a little bit of space here. You need a quite large hand for that, but it's working. Because you can just rest these here. You don't need to grab them, right? You can rest them here. And these you can just grab over here like this, right? And now you draw a card. You just draw a card from here and put it here, right? And whenever you use an ability, you can move the card easily. You can just put it down here, right? Very easy. And if you discard a card because you eat something, like the 6, for example, you discard it face up behind the stack here because it doesn't really matter, right? You don't need it. And then you just continue drawing cards, eating cards, right? And you just continue like that. At some point, give me a moment. At some point it will look like this, that you will have eaten like almost all the cards, right? You have these cards left. Now you eat another card again, whatever. And then you draw a card from here. And now you see like your stack is empty, right? And now it's kind of hard to see, okay, which cards are still in your stack and which aren't. So the cards that were behind, you now just flip over. And now you can continue playing, right? So you eat a card and now you just turn it over when you put it in the back. And this way you can play the entire game just in your hand, right? That is definitely possible. It takes a little bit of practice. The first times I played like this, it was kind of tough because you need to kind of get used to like how to be dexterous enough with your hand for this game, how you actually hold the cards. But by now I can play it easily in my hand, and that is what makes the game better, in my opinion. Because this is a good game, I like it, but the big strength this game has is that you can play it in your hand. But in the regular rules, they tell you need like a stack, like you need like a draw pile here, right? And then you can't hold it in your hand anymore. There will probably also be the option of doing like this, right? That you play the game like this. You always like, you discard cards, I don't know, wherever, in your pocket, or you put them like face down in the back or whatever, right? And you always draw a card like this, right? This would also be possible, but I find this way worse than the option that I came up with, kind of, right? So, if you want to play it in your hand, that also works. The other thing I want to show you is the expansion here, the new Infinity expansion. That one's pretty interesting because what you do is you add this card to your deck and you exchange the 2 8s. That means now you have a regular 8 in here, and whenever this is at the top, instead of losing, what you do is you take the discard pile and the draw deck, like all cards except the 7 in your hand, you shuffle them and you put them as a new draw deck and then refill your cards to your hand to 7 cards, right? That means you only have one loss condition. The win condition is still the same. You need the Infinity card, like which was the 8 before, with the card on top to win the game, right? That's like how we just won the game. And the only lose condition is if you don't have that. So for example, if you have like more than 2 cards, right, and you cannot eat anymore, right, then you lose. But you don't lose anymore when that is at the top, because what you do is you just shuffle the entire deck and the discard pile and you just keep playing the game. It's a pretty fun idea because you have one loss condition left and you need to be like more efficient. And one good thing about this is that this game can be very, very prone to luck also, right, how the cards come out. And with this you mitigate that a bit, right, because you can like keep reshuffling the deck as long as you don't like have triggered the other loss condition, right? You can just continue playing and hope the cards come out in a better way. That's one thing that's very good about the expansion. What is not as good in my opinion is that the game just takes longer. I just like the snappy gameplay of Numbsters. You can have a game down in like 10 minutes, that's it. Right, you take out the game, you shuffle everything, you take your 6 cards here, put the 8 in here, and then you just start playing, right? And you play, and within 10 minutes you're done. You can just reshuffle the deck and just start again. It's like a very quick game, but that it takes longer. But it also, like, if you're in for like a longer game and you want some more mitigation, the Infinity expansion is pretty cool. Do you need the expansion to enjoy the game? No, not at all. I think Numbsters is fine the way it is. I don't need any expansions for this. I couldn't imagine any expansions except, of course, like a new version of Numbsters with like different abilities here, right? That would be fine. That would be okay, but I don't need like any expansions that just expand the game, right? Just new versions, Numbsters 2, Numbsters 3, whatever. Right? That's all that I could wish for. But the expansion is fine, but you don't really need it. Alright, well, and that is how you play Numbsters by Milan Zivkovic and published by Button Shy Games. I hope you enjoyed my video and thank you for sticking to the very end. This is actually one of my most favorite Button Shy games for traveling, at least, right? It's a really cool one. I take this with me quite often, also with Dragons of Etchinstone and Galda's Grip, like my 3 most favorite in-hand card games. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching and staying to the very end. I hope you enjoyed this video. As usual, I want to thank all of you for your support. Special thanks goes out to my generous patrons, and the biggest shout out goes out to Thecos for supporting me at the highest tier. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If you would like to support me as well, you can do so by watching, liking, and commenting on my videos, subscribing to my channel, supporting me on Patreon, and join my Discord server to hang out with me and my amazing community. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the very next video. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, and cheers.